The rain poured relentlessly against the glass walls of the café, creating a symphony of soft drumming and occasional thunder. Amelia's fingers trembled as she clutched the coffee cup, her reflection in the window blurred by streaks of water. Across from her sat Daniel, his dark eyes piercing, unyielding, yet layered with a pain he wasn't ready to admit. "I don't know how we got here," Amelia whispered, her voice barely audible over the storm outside. Her chest rose and fell with a suppressed sob, her heart shattering in a way that felt irreversible. "We used to have it all." Daniel leaned forward, his elbows resting on the table, his fingers laced together. There was no warmth in his gaze, just a cold, calculated calm that frightened her. "Maybe we never did," he said quietly, his words like daggers to her already bruised heart. The world outside felt still, the rain silencing the noise of the city, as if it, too, held its breath for what was to come. Amelia blinked back the tears that threatened to spill, her grip tightening on the cup as if it were the only thing anchoring her to reality. She loved him, desperately, painfully, endlessly. But love wasn't enough anymore, was it? Not after the lies, the betrayals, the secrets that had crept into their lives like shadows, consuming the light they once shared. It all began 3 years ago. Amelia had just moved to the city, her dreams tucked neatly in the suitcase she carried. She was fresh out of college, eager to carve out a career in graphic design, and even more eager to fall in love. The city had felt like magic back then, a glittering labyrinth of possibilities where anything could happen. Daniel entered her life on a chilly autumn evening when the leaves blanketed the sidewalks in shades of amber and gold. She had been running late for a meeting, her portfolio clutched to her chest, when she collided with him outside a small bookstore. Her papers went flying, and so did her breath when she looked up and saw him. He was beautiful in an understated way. Dark hair that curled slightly at the ends, a jawline sharp enough to cut glass, and eyes that seemed to hold galaxies within them. He apologized profusely, helping her gather her things, and their hands brushed. That one moment, the electric jolt of skin against skin, was enough to seal their fate. Their love story unfolded quickly, passionately. They were inseparable, the kind of couple that strangers envied. They spent nights walking along the river, mornings tangled in sheets, and afternoons lost in each other's dreams. He told her about his ambitions in finance, his plans to build an empire. She shared her love for art, her longing to create something that would outlive her. For 2 years, their love was a fortress, unshakable and unbreakable. Or so Amelia thought. The first crack appeared on a summer evening. She had been waiting for Daniel at a rooftop bar, her heart fluttering with excitement as she planned to tell him about a big project she had landed. He arrived late, his tie askew, his shirt wrinkled, a far cry from the meticulous man she knew. "What's wrong?" she asked, concern lacing her voice. "Work," he said, brushing it off with a dismissive wave. But there was something in his eyes, something distant, guarded. That night marked the beginning of the end. Daniel started coming home late, his phone buzzing with messages he wouldn't explain. He grew distant, distracted, and Amelia felt the weight of a love slipping through her fingers. She tried to hold on, tried to salvage what they had, but the harder she clung, the more he pulled away. And then came the truth. Amelia found the messages one night while he was in the shower. Her hands shook as she scrolled through the texts, her heart breaking with every word. There was another woman, a name she didn't recognize, but one that would haunt her for weeks. When she confronted him, Daniel didn't deny it. He didn't beg, didn't plead. He simply said, "I didn't mean for this to happen." The breakup was brutal, a storm of shouting and tears, and shattered trust. Amelia moved out of their shared apartment, leaving behind the life they had built together. She told herself she was done with him, that she could never forgive him. But love is a cruel thing. It lingers, even when it shouldn't. Months passed, and Amelia tried to move on. She threw herself into work, went on dates that felt hollow, and surrounded herself with friends who told her she deserved better. But no matter how hard she tried, she couldn't forget him. His scent lingered on her old sweaters, his laugh echoed in her dreams, and his absence was a void she couldn't fill. And then, one night, he called. She almost didn't pick up. Her finger hovered over the decline button, her heart pounding with anger and longing. But curiosity won, and she answered. His voice was soft, apologetic, desperate. "Amelia," he said, "I made a mistake." Now, here they were, sitting across from each other in the cafe where they had shared so many happy moments. The storm outside mirrored the turmoil in Amelia's heart. She wanted to hate him, wanted to throw his apology back in his face and walk away. But she couldn't. "Why now?" she asked, her voice trembling. "Why do you care now?" Daniel's eyes softened, and for the first time in months, she saw the man she had fallen in love with. "Because losing you made me realize what I had," he said. "I was stupid, Amelia. I was selfish and blind, but I love you. I've always loved you." The words hung in the air between them, heavy with hope and regret. Amelia wanted to believe him, wanted to forgive him, but the wounds he had left were still raw. "I don't know if I can trust you again," she admitted, tears streaming down her face. "I'll earn it," he promised. "I'll spend the rest of my life making it up to you if I have to." Amelia looked into his eyes, searching for a sign, a reason to believe that things could be different this time. The rain continued to fall, a relentless reminder of the chaos that had brought them here. And then, without thinking, she reached across the table and took his hand. It was warm, familiar, and for the first time in months, she felt a spark of hope. "Don't make me regret this," she whispered. Daniel's grip tightened around hers, his eyes shining with a mix of relief and determination. "I won't," he said. "I swear." Outside, the rain began to slow, the clouds parting to reveal a sliver of sunlight. It wasn't a perfect ending, far from it, but for Amelia and Daniel, it was a beginning.